Hello, dear children. I welcome you in today's English class. Let's continue the chapter The Lost Child where we left in the previous video 2. This is going to be our third video of this chapter. So let's continue. At the entrance of the fair to one corner, a sweetmeat seller had set up a shop. He was selling various sweets like gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi and jalebi. The sweets were displayed at different heights and were covered with foils of gold and silver. The boy's mouth watered when he sighted his favorite barfi. He expressed his desire to get one in a low voice because he knew that his request would be refused by his parents. They would say that he was greedy for the barfi. As he did not expect that his demand would be fulfilled, he walked further. A flower seller hawked a garland of gulmohar, a garland of gulmohar. The child seemed irresistibly drawn. He went towards the basket where the flowers lay heaped and half murmured, I want that garland. But he well knew his parents would refuse to buy him those flowers because they would say that they were cheap. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. The next stall was that of a flower seller. He announced that he was selling garlands of gulmohar flowers. The child wanted one of those. He walked towards the basket of flowers of lower and again flowers and again announced his desire to have one in a low voice because he knew that his demand would not be fulfilled. They would refuse to buy him the flowers as they would say that they were cheap. Again, the boy walked ahead without expecting a reply from his parents. A man stood holding a pole with yellow, red, green, and purple balloons flying from it. The child was simply carried away by the rainbow glory of their silken colors, and he was filled with an overwhelming desire to possess them all. But he well knew his parents would never buy him the balloons because they would say he was too old to play with such toys. So he walked on further. Overwhelming means a very strong emotion. The next thing that the child came across was a balloon seller selling balloons of different colors of the rainbow. The boy was attracted to the shiny colors of the balloons and wanted to have them all. He knew that his parents would not buy the balloons for him, as they would reason that he was too old to play with them. So the child walked further. Forbidden him to hear such coarse music as the snake charmer played, he proceeded farther. Forbidden meaning not allowed, coarse, unpleasant. Then he paused at a snake charmer who was playing a flute, and the snake was twisting its neck to the music. The snake had coiled itself in a basket and had raised its head out. It bent and moved its neck gracefully, like a swan. It seemed that the music of the flute was heard by the snake's invisible ears and created the effect of a waterfall on it because it swayed its neck in a similar way. The boy walked towards the snake charmer, but as his parents had warned him to remain away from the unpleasant music played by such men, he walked further. There was a roundabout in full swing. Men, women, and children carried away in a whirlpool motion shrieked and cried with dizzy laughter. The child watched them instantly and then he made a bold request. I want to go the roundabout, please, father, mother. Then he saw the roundabout swing. It was full of men, women, and children who were enjoying the ride. The boy watched the people on the roundabout and then, with a lot of courage, expressed his desire to go on the roundabout. There was no reply. He turned to look at his parents. They were not there ahead of him. He turned to look on either side. They were not there. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. When his parents did not reply, he turned towards them. He saw that they were nowhere round. He looked around and behind, but his parents were nowhere to be seen. A full deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body, he ran from where he stood crying in real fear. Mother, father, tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fiery. His flushed face was convulsed with fear. Panic stricken, he ran to one side first, then to the other. Hither and thither in all directions, knowing not where to go. Mother, father, he wailed. His yellow turban came untied and his clothes became muddy. Hither and thither meaning here and there. In Old English, here and there are called as hither and thither. The boy cried loudly, jerked his body, and ran here and there, calling out for his parents. He was full of fear, and tears started rolling down his cheeks. As he wailed and ran around, his turban opened and his clothes became muddy. Having run to and fro in a race of running for a while, he stood defeated, his cries suppressed into sobs. At little distances on the green grass he could see, though his filmy eyes, men and women talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of bright yellow clothes, but there was no sign of his father and mother among these people who seemed to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. Intently meaning carefully. Intentionally, carefully. After some time, he gave up. The loud cries turned into mild sobs. Earlier, he was crying loudly, but now it converted into mild sobs. He saw some people standing and talking and tried to find if his parents were among them. The laughter and talks of the people were meaningless for the child. He was simply searching for his parents. He ran quickly again, this time to a shrine to which people seemed to be crowding. Every little inch of space here was congested with men. But he ran through people's leg, his little sob lingering. Mother, father, near the entrance to the temple. However, the crowd became very thick. Men jolted each other, heavy men with flashing, murderous eyes and hefty shoulders. The poor child struggled to thrust a way between their feet, but knocked to and fro by their brutal movements. He might have been trampled underfoot had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice. Father, mother, a man in the surging crowd heard his cry and, stooping with great difficulty, lifted him up in his arm. Congested meaning full of, hefty, large and heavy, thrust, push, knocked, hit, brutal means harsh or rough, trampled, crushed, surging, powerful. The boy ran towards a temple which was crowded with people. He ran through the legs of men, calling out for his parents. The crowd was pushing each other as he neared the entrance of the temple. The boy got scared of huge, strong men who stared people with their murderous eyes and pushed them with their strong and big shoulders. The boy could have been crushed under the feet of the men had his cries not been heard by a man in the crowd. He lifted the child. Dear children, today we will do this much only. We will continue the lesson in next video, which will be your video 4. Thank you everyone.